What's up, Cinephiles? The game is afoot. Enola Holmes is now streaming on Netflix. It's directed by Bradbeer, and here's a review coming right up. But before we begin, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for weekly reviews on movies, TV shows, and video games. Now, Phil, what is this movie all about?
When Enola Holmes, Sherlock's teen sister, discovers that her mother is missing, she sets off to find her, becoming a super sleuth in her own right as she outwits her famous brother and unravels a dangerous conspiracy around a mysterious young lord. Now, Kevin, what can you say about this movie?
Actually, I'm a huge Sherlock fan. I've followed the movie franchise, the series franchise, and I've also read the first volume of that short stories. So I am really pleased that we're talking about a feminine character, someone who is smart and as willful as Sherlock. So it's important to me that the profile of this character imbibes these traits that young girls can look up to. And what fascinates me is this character played by Millie Bobby Brown. I think she's very intrepid, she's very plucky, she's courageous, she's smart, she's kind of quirky and eccentric, but at the same time, when things get rough, she can really get down into business. So yeah, there are a lot of admirable traits for Enola Holmes, and to see this movie coming together with all its themes, because we're talking about a Victorian setting, so this is a time where people are starting to get woke, themes about equality and voting rights are being tackled. This is a really good and enjoyable family film for me. And I felt like we haven't had much of that family film nowadays. I mean, nowadays kids are being shoved to PG-13 action superhero stuff, treated as family movies. Then we also have the animated stuff. But when it comes to the live action, we're not getting much these days. And I think this one is a worthy movie that you can watch with your family now in these trying times. Yeah, I did enjoy my experience. I think Millie Bobby Brown here is just radiating with charisma here. And I think this character has the tendency to be annoying, but she does not make it. She is the driving force. The narration is zippy, and she makes these fourth wall breaks, and I think it's very much fit for the tone of the movie as we get to see her thinking process. It can be all over the place at times, but at the same time, it's charming. And then there's the central mystery. I guess I'm not really looking forward for the level of mystery to be that highly gripping and interesting. Since this is a younger sister of Sherlock Holmes, I was actually fine that this is more like of a junior level of deduction that's happening here.
Yeah, Kevin, I agree. First off, Millie Bobby Brown, such an amazing actress. I've always been a fan of her ever since I've seen Stranger Things, because that's really her coming out party. And now here in Enola Holmes, she plays a completely different character, and she plays this role so well, like what you said. She's very charming in this role with all these fourth wall breaks. And also this movie, what I really like about it is it's just very light and a delight to watch. Most of modern films right now, even if it's a family film, there are some heavy-handed themes that they're throwing in there, but here it's just really very, very light all throughout. It kind of felt like a 2000s family film. Not necessarily super great movies, but movies that it kind of reminded me of were like Nancy Drew, Princess Diaries, Ella Enchanted,
Yeah.
those kinds of movies from the early to mid 2000s. To your point, it also has a feminist message, forging your own path in this world. It has a very feminist message of women going out of their usual convention. So it's really a great message for kids, especially young girls who are looking to chase what they want to become eventually. So the female empowerment theme really works here. And also, just an observation, I think this is based on the novel, not necessarily from Arthur Conan Doyle. It's based
Yeah.
from the novel by Nancy Springer.
Yeah.
I did a bit of reading. The reason I did a bit of reading is because the Sherlock character here is very, very different. It's not the Sherlock character that we are
Yeah.
accustomed to, because we all know that the original Sherlock doesn't really pull his punches in terms of being a jerk to literally everyone and being this really weird guy. But in here, he seems like a normal smart guy who really cares about his sister here. So that's an observation. But Henry Cavill is also a bit charming in the role actually. It didn't make me hate the Sherlock character that's portrayed here. I was actually looking for more scenes with Henry Cavill in it. With regards to my issues, I have to say that this movie is very fun to watch, but unfortunately, it also tends to become very unfocused at times. Because it's trying to tie so many loose narrative threads together. There's this thing about her mother, there's this thing about her brothers, there's this case that she's trying to solve, and unfortunately, also because of all those plot threads that this film is trying to tie together, the movie also suffers from some pacing issues. But still, I had a blast watching this movie, Kevin.
When it comes to the Sherlock character, I've already sensed that they're going for a different take here from what we're accustomed to based on the trailers. Comparing the adaptations from the movies in the series where Sherlock is more of impatient, really smart, arrogant, can be rude at times, that one is the more compelling, sort of an anti-hero, morally ambiguous character that you're going to enjoy to watch. But in here, since he's not really the center of the story, I am more of accepting. It took a while for me to accept this version because I've read the novels. It's a far reimagination of the character. Part of me thinks like this novelist who made this series of books kind of just placed Sherlock here without having really a great concern to the history of the character because he acts so differently here. But working on a movie context, I'm actually accepting of it because we have two brothers here and the more unlikable one will have to be Mycroft. And if both are going to act negatively to their younger sister, Enola, I think it won't give much dynamic. So it's good that the character here is more empathetic and more, I guess, good-natured. Yeah. So yes, Henry Cavill proves to be a versatile actor. His breakout role, of course, would have to be Superman. Then we've seen him in movies like Mission Impossible where he plays this villain, and then in the Witcher series. So he shows this different range that I'm excited to see. And then also for Sam Claflin, he makes this character unlikable, and I guess that's his job. The push and pull between these characters affecting the mind state of Enola is really wonderful to watch. And then I just have to go back to Millie Bobby Brown because I think this is the first movie that we see her take a lead actor role, because in Stranger Things, yes, she gets a lot of screen time here, but in there, she's more part of an ensemble. I guess it's a testament that Millie Bobby Brown can really carry a movie, and knowing that Enola Holmes is based on a novel, 6 novels to be exact, I can really see Netflix building a franchise on it, and I won't be complaining. And when it comes to the narrative, this movie runs for 2 hours. Admittedly, there are some slack points in between. You mentioned about pacing problems. I have to agree on that. The mystery here is not as engaging as the film wanted it to be, but it doesn't really matter because every time that Enola is on screen, we enjoy spending time with her. And the relevance of this whole movie, especially right now, also for the Americans who are watching, because in US right now, they are registering to be voters as well as in our country. So the importance of having be heard. And I also would like to touch, Enola here has a sort of a love interest character. He's played by Louis Partridge as Lord Tewksbury. That character is very necessary to build the mystery plot, and I just love that the movie didn't really focus much on that romance subplot. Kind of the themes that were going on in Little Women and Pride and Prejudice. She's a free woman, she can do whatever she wants, but at the end of the day, she's not tied up to some man, and it's all about discovering herself and ours grabbing the future. By the end of this movie, there's a big message. It's a bit heavy-handed, but I'm actually fine with that because this is a family movie, and the younger audiences need to get that message.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It actually became a concern of mine when this subplot about romantic interest was introduced, because I didn't want this movie to have that all throughout, and I completely agree with what you said. That really never took center stage in the entire film, because for the entire film, really, it's Millie Bobby Brown. She takes center stage. And the thing about is, Eleven, her character in Stranger Things, is a very, very serious character. And this is just the complete opposite of that, and she pulls it off so well. This movie has a runtime, as you mentioned, for 2 hours, and honestly, I actually didn't feel 2 hours pass by, because every time that she is on screen, it's such a delight. I just really want to spend more time with her, and I can't wait for a sequel for this. I think they set up a sequel for this because her mother character didn't really had much to do here, so I'm starting to think that she's going to have to do so much more in a sequel, quite possibly. In conclusion, this movie is fun watch for me. Millie Bobby Brown is awesome. Henry Cavill, even though that's not the Sherlock that we all know and love, is still a version of Sherlock that I am intrigued by. I really wanted more of him in this movie, and I hope we get that in a sequel. I don't think that there's an official sequel announcement for this yet. I hope it gets it. My issues, again, the movie got a bit unfocused at times, but that doesn't take anything too much away from the film, because I think that children, especially young girls or even young boys, should see this movie. It kind of gave me nostalgia vibes of a 2000s film, and I loved it for that. I am going to give this movie a 4 out of 5 stars.
I can really see this becoming a big thing, something we can anticipate every year. And really, Millie Bobby Brown holds this show, and she produced this one. She's co-producing this one, so this is really amazing for her. And also, I forgot to mention Helena Bonham Carter. She's also good and fun in this role, in the sense that we're so used to see her taking on these villain roles, so to see her maternal side is also wonderful. And yeah, I also happen to learn a new word here, which is nincompoop. So go ahead and search that, guys. I was just so glad that I learned a new word while watching this movie. I'm gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 5.
And that's it for our review of Enola Holmes. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.
Also, guys, let us know what you think in the comment sections. Hit them down below. Thank you for watching. Until then, see you on the next one.
Bye bye, guys.